Hello everyone and welcome to Press Play. I'm Brian Clevenger and I hope you had a fantastic 4th of July weekend and found some time to relax, enjoy the celebration, and of course, play a few games. To keep the patriotic spirit going this week, we're taking a trip back to the American Revolution as we revisit Assassin's Creed 3 to see if Connor's story still stands to the test of time. Then we'll count down some of the best games set in America, check out this week's biggest game releases, and bring you the latest gaming news. So whether you're here to revisit a classic or discover something new to play, we've got plenty to cover. All that in today's episode of Press Play. Released in 2012, Assassin's Creed 3 marked a major turning point for the series. Ubisoft left behind the cities of Renaissance Italy and brought players to colonial America during the American Revolution. More than a decade later, I decided to revisit Connor Kenway's journey to find out if the classic still deserves a place in your gaming library. You can play as Connor Kenway, a member of the Assassin's Brotherhood caught in the middle of the Revolutionary War. Rather than simply retelling history, the game weaves real historical events and figures into the ongoing conflict between the Assassins and the Templars. Throughout the adventure, you'll encounter famous names like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, and Paul Revere, making the world feel both authentic and engaging. One of the biggest additions was the frontier. Instead of navigating only crowded cities, you can freely explore forests, climb trees, hunt wildlife, and use nature to your advantage. The updated parkour system made movement feel more fluid, especially when traveling through the wilderness, and it helped set the game apart from the predecessors. Combat also received a major overhaul with the previous installment. Connor's Tomahawk becomes one of the series' most iconic weapons, and battles are fast, brutal, and satisfying. Whether you're encountering enemies using pistols or chaining together finishers, combat still hold up surprisingly well. Another standout feature is the naval missions. While they only make up a small portion of the game, they laid out the groundwork for what would later become one of the biggest highlights of Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. Even today, these missions are a lot of fun and welcome variety to the experience. Considering this game was originally released in 2012, I was surprised how well parts of it still hold up. The cities, the frontier, and some of the lighting still look great today, even if you can definitely tell it's from an older generation. There are still a few rough edges, but nothing that took me out of the experience. Visually, the game has aged fairly well. I played the original Xbox 360 version through a backwards compatibility on my Xbox Series X, and while you can definitely tell it's a game from 2012, colonial Boston, New York, and the frontier still have a lot of charm. Character models and animations show their ages and places, but the world itself still does a great job of capturing the atmosphere of revolutionary America. Honestly, the game still looks fantastic for something released in 2012. Sure, it shows its age, but it's far from unplayable and never felt like the visuals took away from the experience. That said, not everything has stood the test of time. The opening chapter are noticeably slow, taking several hours before the game truly opens up. I also ran into a few bugs during my playthrough. Occasionally, NPCs would suddenly spawn or disappear right in front of me as I moved through towns. I'm not sure if that's because I was playing through Xbox 360 version through backwards compatibility on the Xbox Series X, or it's something that was always there. But it never became a major issue. I only noticed that these Xbox Series X load the games quickly that every now and then the audio from the loading screen would continue playing for a brief moment after the next scene was already started. It was a little odd, but neither issue was enough to take away from the overall experience. Some missions can feel repetitive, and Connor's more serious personality may not resonate with everyone, especially compared to fan favorite like Ezio Auditore. Even with those shortcomings, Assassin's Creed 3 remains one of the most unique entries in the franchise. Its historical setting, memorable combat, and ambitious gameplay innovations make it well worth revisiting, especially around Independence Day. If you've never experienced Connor's story or it's been years since your last playthrough, now is a great time to jump back into the American Revolution. So with all that being said, what would I rate Assassin's Creed 3? Keep in mind I'm rating the game itself and the original Xbox 360 version playing through backwards compatibility on my Xbox Series X. I'm giving Assassin's Creed 3 a 7 out of 10. This score could have been higher if the beginning of the game had better pacing. The opening hours are just too slow. You don't even start out playing as Connor, and by the time you finally take control of him, he's still a child. It takes several more sequences before you finally become the assassin you've been waiting to play as. By the time the game really opens up and lets you experience the best parts, like the historical events, the frontier, the naval missions, and Connor as a fully trained assassin, it feels like you've already spent half the game getting there. I understand Ubisoft was trying to build the story and give players a deeper connection to Connor, but for me, that introduction dragged on far longer than it needed to be. Even with those pacing issues, Assassin's Creed 3 is still a fun game worth revisiting. The combat remains satisfying, the historical setting is one of the most unique in the series, and if you're looking for a game to play around 4th of July, this is an easy recommendation. Assassin's Creed 3 isn't the only game that embraces a patriotic theme. Whether it's celebrating American history, defending the homeland, or delivering one of the top action, here are 5 more games that fit that bill. First up on the list is Liberty or Death. Liberty or Death may not be the most well-known game on the list, but it's one of the most historically focused. Released in 1993, this turn-based strategy game takes place during the American Revolutionary War, letting you combine either the Continental Army or the British forces. You'll manage troops, resources, and battle strategies as you try to change the course of history. If you're a fan of strategy games and American history, Liberty or Death is definitely worth checking out. Up next is Sid Meier's Colonization. Sid Meier's Colonization is a strategy classic that lets you build and grow a colony in the New World. Starting with just a small settlement, you'll gather resources, establish trade routes, expand your territory, and eventually decide whether to declare independence from the European homeland. It may be an older game, but it's a deep strategy and focus on the foundings of America, making it a fitting addition to this list.
Powerful rivals are moving in with plans of their own.
Homefront takes a different approach to patriotism by imagining an alternate future where the United States has been invaded and occupied. You play as a member of the resistance fighting to take back your homeland one mission at a time. While the game received mixed reviews when it launched, the premise remains one of the most memorable in the first-person shooter genre and makes it an easy fit for this list. Broforce throws realism out the window and cranks the action up to 11. This side-scrolling action game is packed with explosions, over-the-top moments, and heroes inspired by classic action movie icons. Whether you're blasting through enemies solo or with friends, it's chaotic, hilarious celebration of action movies and exaggerated patriotism that's perfect if you're looking for pure, unapologetic fun. And lastly is Helldivers 2. While a satirical take on patriotism, few games embrace the theme quite like this one. As a Helldiver, your mission is to spread managed democracy across the galaxy by liberating planets and defending Super Earth from alien threats. Whether you're playing with friends or jumping in with random teammates, the game's chaotic firefights, cinematic moments, and hilarious friendly fire mishaps may make every mission memorable. If you're looking for an action-packed co-op game that doesn't take itself too seriously, Helldivers 2 is an easy recommendation. Here are some news buzzing around the news industry. Sony has officially announced that beginning in January 2028, all new PlayStation games will be released digitally only, marking the end of the physical disc release for future PlayStation titles. Games that have already launched or are scheduled to release before then will still receive physical editions, but after that, new PlayStation games will only be available through digital storefronts. Sony says the decision reflects the growing shift towards digital purchases, with roughly 80% of its full game sales already coming from digital downloads. Sony also announced that it's beginning the process of shutting down the PlayStation Store on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. The closures will begin in select regions later this year before expanding worldwide in July 2027. Once the store closes, players will no longer be available to purchase new games or downloadable content on those systems. However, Sony says previously purchased games and content will remain available to download for the foreseeable future. The company says the aging hardware can no longer support the modern security and payment systems required for today's PlayStation Network. During a recent California Senate hearing on a Protect Our Games Act, a representative from the Entertainment Software Association, or ESA, claimed that private servers for games like Minecraft and Call of Duty are illegal and even describes them as a form of piracy. The comments were made while the ESA was arguing against legislation backed by the Stop Killing Games movement, which aims to preserve online games after the official servers are shut down. The statement quickly drew criticism because Minecraft has officially supported player-hosted servers for years, with server software made available by Mojang. Critics argued that the ESA comments blurred the line between legitimate community servers and unauthorized servers that infringe on copyrighted content. After the backlash, the ESA clarified that it was referring to private servers that violate publishers' intellectual property rights and said publishers have the right to protect their games and maintain player safety. Just days after Sony announced it would stop releasing new PlayStation games on physical discs beginning of 2028, reports now suggest Microsoft could be working on a solution for players with physical Xbox collections. According to multiple reports, Xbox is internally testing a feature called Disc to Digital, which would allow players to convert compatible Xbox One and Xbox Series X games discs into a digital license tied to their Microsoft account. The feature is still reportedly in testing, and Microsoft has not officially announced it. If it launches, players would insert a compatible game disc, receive a digital entitlement linked to both the Microsoft account and that specific disc, and then be able to play digitally without needing the disc to the console. However, if the disc is sold, traded, or given away, the digital license would also be transferred or revoked, preventing players from keeping both versions. The feature is also expected to support Xbox One and Xbox Series X games, but not original Xbox or Xbox 360 titles. It's time to take a look at what's releasing this week in gaming. Starting on July 7th, the Doomslayer returns in Doom: The Dark Ages Revelation, the first major expansion for Doom: The Dark Ages. Players can expect new locations, tougher enemies, and plenty of demon-slaying action. Now. Also releasing that day is Moonlight Peak, a cozy farming simulator with a supernatural twist. Instead of inheriting a farm, you play as a vampire building a new life by growing magical crops, exploring a mysterious town, and befriending its unique residents.
It sounds like your spells and potions are improving.
Moving to July 9th, one of this year's biggest releases arrives with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. The fan-favorite pirate adventure returns with enhanced visuals and updated gameplay, giving players another chance to sail the Caribbean as Edward Kenway.
Pirate adventure. All right.
Sports fans also have two titles to look forward to. Backyard Baseball returns, bringing the beloved neighborhood kids and classic gameplay to modern platforms. While EA Sports College Football 27 kicks off another season of college football with updated teams, new features, and plenty of rivalry games.
Themselves. Some have another dream.
RPG fans can continue their adventure in Grand Blue Relink Endless Ragnarok, a new expansion that adds more quests and challenges to the Sky Realm.
These events threaten to reverberate across the world in full.
Also launching is Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Adventure IX 1 and 2 Dual Collection, bundling both fast-paced action platformers into one complete package.
One warrior fights.
Finally, on July 10th, Digimon Story Time Stranger brings players a brand new adventure through the digital world with monsters collecting, turn-based combat, and an original story.
I'd be sticking with him no matter what.
Fans of Sword Art Online can dive into the Echoes of Aincrad expansion, featuring new story content and familiar locations inspired by the iconic floating castle. And rounding out this week is Our World, as the creature collecting survival game continues expanding players. Those are some of the biggest games releasing this week. Which ones are you most excited to play? Let us know on our Discord. Speaking of Discord, you can join the Press Play Discord and join in on conversations and play games with other gamers. And that's going to do it for this episode of Press Play. This week we travel back to the American Revolution with Assassin's Creed 3, counted down 5 patriotic games worth checking out, looked at this week's biggest games releases, and covered some of the latest news from around the gaming industry. Now, we want to hear from you. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to join the Discord community where you can continue the conversation with fellow gamers. I'm Brian Clevenger. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep playing, keep exploring, and as always, press play.
It's only the principio, baby. This is only the beginning. You can do anything you want to do.
Y no te creas, dice Henry Stone. Roberto Duran son más duras que la brea. Primera ronda te noqueo como Perrera. Primera ronda te noqueo como Perrera. Este soldado está preparado para la guerra. Este soldado está preparado para la guerra. Este soldado está preparado para la guerra.
Are we talking about your ex?
Buscándote a tu manera.
Hey, I've got an idea for you.
Hey, Asielo. Bet you're hungry after this morning, huh? Same as usual?
Your sister's really taking this whole job thing seriously, huh, Divina?
I know. They really weren't kidding about this being a fighting town.
We're all cops. Otherwise, we wouldn't be living in Villa Sapara.
Kill them all!
Hey, it's me.
There he is!
This is not gonna blow over, Cielo! You f with the Chinese mafia!
One more move and I'll cut her head off!
All right, just take it easy.
That's your...
Madam Sue? You play the part of a fighter, but you are lacking in kung fu.
Rise over the cries, city of blood, sweat, and survivors. Lives rolling like dice. Once you're inside, there's no surrender.
That's Pai Chan!
Who's Pai Chan?
What?
Look around. The world is dying. The whole environment is maimed and mangled. Yet there is still a semblance of law. Everything has its place. Keep your weapon clean and ready. All it takes is one mistake. But we will not despair. We will do it again and again.
Okay. Are you here? Give us a sign. Nothing. Huh. I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here.
PlayStation. PlayStation.